Today's presentation is my own self-reflection presentation by myself, Aaron Sutcliffe, and I'm a student for the Applied Exercise and Sports Psychology. The presentation revolves around the book, which is Coach Wooden's Leadership Game Plan for Success. 12 Lessons for Extraordinary Performance and Personal Excellence. The book Coach Wooden's Leadership Game Plan for Success has enlightened my view on many aspects on how to live my life. Many of the approaches that are mentioned in the book I've now adopted, which has seen my time management and enthusiasm for all things increase remarkably. Initially I thought that as John Wooden was just a highly successful basketball coach, that many of his beliefs would only relate to sport. I discovered that I was wrong and that his philosophical coaching style could be implemented into everyday life and business. The first thing I found relevant to many people I know that was stated by Coach Wooden is his 2 sets of 3s. I've always tried to instill the first 3 rules of never lie, never cheat and never steal in the upbringing of my children. I believe that they are very important rules to adopt. The second set of rules, introduced by Coach Wooden by his father, of don't whine, don't complain and don't make excuses. These sets of rules I'm trying to introduce to my children and to myself, as I've felt sorry for myself in the past. After I suffered a serious knee injury, which required 2 operations, I was informed that I would not be able to play soccer anymore due to the very limited amount of cartilage I had in my left knee. As a result, I began to feel depressed for a while, but I've come to realise that I had to get on with things, and have taken up the study of exercise and sports science. I've also undertaken a strength training program, and I've realised that there's many people worse off than myself, and it's no use worrying about trivial things. Another important lesson taught by Coach Wooden in his book is the caution against comparison. It's important to be the best you can be. You cannot achieve this when you worry about another person, and only be concerned about things that you have control over. As Wooden states, you have control over that, but not the other. I find that too many people worry about being better than another person rather than being the best that they can be, and that's what they ultimately have control over. It's also important to have a strong work ethic. A strong work ethic is of paramount importance for success to be attainable. It's important to work at a high capacity, being fully engaged. And as Coach Wooden states, don't judge yourself by what you have accomplished, but rather by what you could have accomplished given your ability. It's important that you don't want to look back and think what might have been if you had only applied yourself. Part of the pyramid of success is industriousness. I've discovered that there is no shortcut to success. You must be committed and work diligently. As Coach Wooden has conveyed by stating that there is no trick, no easy way. Success travels in the company of very hard work. Industriousness provides a strong foundation for success. This is why it is the cornerstone of the pyramid of success that Coach Wooden has stated. The pyramid of success has another integral part, which is enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, success will not be achieved. Enthusiasm needs to be maintained, even when setbacks and obstacles become apparent. To avoid a lack of enthusiasm, proper planning and preparation can help avoid setbacks in achieving goals. As Coach Wooden states, big things are accomplished only through the perfection of minor details. No matter how small you might think that they are, it is important to cover all aspects, even the minor details, as stated by Coach Wooden. Another important part of the pyramid of success is intentness. I would often find myself easily distracted and lacking in determination and not persisting with things if setbacks occurred. I managed to learn from other people by listening intently to what they had to say, and as a result, I increase my learning and enhance my productivity at work. As Coach Wooden has commented on the importance of being open-minded. It is what you learn after you know it all that counts. It's also important to be punctual and on time. After reading Coach Wooden's book, I now have a greater respect for time. I've realised that it is important to utilise it wisely. It's also important for successful teamwork to be achieved by being punctual. This shows respect to either your coach or your employer, and I'm now mindful of the importance of being punctual. An illustration of this is that Coach Wooden felt that punctuality was very important, so important that he left two of the best players behind who were late for the bus. All the other players on the bus were shocked and were disappointed that the best players didn't show up on time. Wooden didn't care for this, and the bus left without them. The result wasn't important to Coach Wooden, but the discipline was. They did lose the game, but the best players once again did always showed up on time in the future. Another important part of success is competitive greatness. Adversity only makes you stronger. As Coach Wooden states, performing at your best when your best is needed and having a real love for the hard battle. Life is full of ups and downs, and it is how you overcome them that is important. As I've already stated, after suffering an injury to my knee that prevents me from running or playing soccer, although initially I was upset and slightly depressed, it has inspired me to want to progress on to becoming a physiotherapist. Leadership qualities. It's important that the core values expressed in this book are adhered to if you wish to be successful. I'm attempting to instill many of the messages that the book conveys, not only for myself but also for my teenage sons. As aptly stated by Coach Wooden, more often than we ever suspect, the lives of others that we do affect. The reference for the self-reflection presentation is Coach Wooden's book, which is Coach Wooden's Leadership Game Plan for Success, 12 Lessons for Extraordinary Performance and Personal Excellence. I would like to thank you for listening to my self-reflection presentation. Thank you and goodbye.